Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of 6 for 6, Season 2, Episode 24, ladies and gentlemen. We had another fantastic week on this show, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you last week's record. We were so close to getting that 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen, getting the 6 wins that we needed so desperately in this season, get that perfect matchup in the books, ladies and gentlemen. But you know who ended up screwing us over in this situation? The Denver Broncos against the Seattle Seahawks. The coach made a terrible decision with time left on the clock, and he had all three timeouts before he burned his timeout to call a timeout to burn his timeout to stop the clock to kick a 64-yard field goal to try to win the game. But didn't you just sign Russell Wilson to a contract to keep him there longer? And you brought him a quarterback to help you win games like that situation in that 4th and 5 when you have their timeouts in your favor to call out and stop the clock and put your kicker probably less than a 60-yard field goal, maybe 52, 53-yarder, moving up the chains and securing a better kick comparing to a 64-yarder kick. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. That is the loss of last week. Everything else we were able to pick correctly, though there was a couple nail-biter scenarios with the Pitt and Tennessee game in Iowa and Iowa State, but we lucked out on those. This record could be looking awfully different now, but we were able to get the luck being on our side and helps us improve our overall record this season, ladies and gentlemen, too. 66, 56, and 2. Definitely going to be great. See if we can actually hit that perfect milestone, getting 6 games all correct. It has been a challenge on this show. We have a lot of times where we went 5-1, as you can see from our last week's episode, but we are going for the gold, getting the perfect 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen, getting the 6 games right and moving on with our picks. Well, let's break it down. We got a lot of stuff going down this week as well as into Monday. So we're going to run through this with no problems, and we're going to get through this program within 15 minutes or so. Let's give or take. But let's get it underway, ladies and gentlemen. With that, in the 6th slot, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles, Monday, September 19th, ladies and gentlemen, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can catch this game on ABC and ESPN+. Guys, the Vikings came out hot last week against the Green Bay Packers, dominating Aaron Rodgers, giving him a butt whooping. That's all I can really say about that game. The Vikings dominated 23-7. And now if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, struggled against the Detroit Lions, but pulled out in a victory of 38-35. So as you can see, definitely going to be an interesting matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. They can put up points, but the Vikings came to play against the Green Bay Packers. Seeing how the Vikings came out in that week 1 opener against Green Bay, I kind of have to feel the Vikings out on this Monday night game. I just think the Eagles don't have that defense to, keep the Vikings from scoring. As you could see, that Vikings defense could shut down this Philadelphia Eagle offense and give them a headache, giving the Minnesota Vikings a solid victory in this scenario. So I'm feeling the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Next up, we move into our 5th slot. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills, Monday, September 19th, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. The Bills coming off of a triumphant victory over the Rams, the Super Bowl defending champ Rams, 31-10. And the Titans are coming off a tough loss against the New York Giants. They lost 21-20. So the Titans are looking for revenge. But the Bills are the team to beat, I would say, in the AFC. Looking hot on Thursday night football last week. Dominating. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Bills, like I said, are the team to beat. The Titans have some work. But I know Josh Allen is going to use this passing game with Stephon Diggs to really turn up against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are a run-heavy team, and I know the Buffalo Bills defense can manage that without a problem. So I'm giving the edge to the Buffalo Bills. And if you want winning percentages, even ESPN agrees with me. the Bills have a 79% chance of victory, and I agree with that as well. Next up, we go into the fourth slot, ladies and gentlemen. We got some college football. We got Michigan State, who is the 11th team ranked in the nation, versus Washington. I'm feeling the Big Ten love this week. Got a lot of Big Tens here this week. 2 Big Ten teams in this rank in our 6-for-6 picks. But, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be some things, these two teams are both 2-0. Michigan State is trying to, make their headway in the Big Ten East, trying to rise up the ranks, get to another Big Ten championship in there. But we have to see what we have to do on top of that. With, the Michigan State, they are 43, getting at their average points per game with 43, giving up, 6 points per game. Washington averages about 48 points a game and giving up 13 points per game. So very, offensive scoring teams, but they haven't really played true competition. So I'm going to have to feel, looking at their offense production, their defense has been solid against weaker opponents, but they haven't played true, Power 5 conference action yet. So this is like the first time these teams are going to be a test to it. I'm going to trust in Michigan State. Though Washington put up better offensive numbers against weaker opponents, Big Ten normally has solid defenses throughout the conferences. As you can see, like Iowa gives teams the benefit of the doubt, keeping the low scoring and making the offense really earn their yards and their points when they play Iowa. So I know Michigan State has a similar defense, probably not the exact same, but I know the Big Ten defenses are very solid compared to the Pac-12's defenses and offenses. With that, I have the Michigan State Spartans taking care of business. Now let's move up to the number 3 slot. Number 3 slot, we got the University of Miami, the U, number 13 in the nation versus Texas A&M, Saturday, September 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. A&M came off of an embarrassing loss against Appalachian State. Even though Appalachian State gave North Carolina a run for their money, it's a team not to be a sleeper. I think Appalachian State is a solid team this year, going up against against the Power 5 teams this year. They're 2 games so far. Very solid team. I can see Appalachian State doing well for the rest of the season. Maybe they make another appearance. Who knows? Maybe the college football rankings will give them a rank maybe, and then we'll be on our show. But the U has not played, a decent opponents. So it's like in that same spectrum. Yes, A&M has a better recruiting class than Miami. But as you can see, recruiting class doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a victory, as A&M experienced against Appalachian State. Knowing me and knowing that embarrassing loss, A&M is going to be hungry and looking for revenge. But I think Miami is a team that's trying to clinch a ACC title berth, get into that scenario, trying to get a shot at the title. And that's what their mission is. Beating A&M is a part of that journey, and it gets them one step closer to the college football playoffs. So I'm feeling the edge of Miami, trying to keep their college football destiny playoff hopes going and alive, because if they lose to A&M, their hopes of reaching the college football playoff will get darker. And A&M, if the A&M loses, I would say their college football hopes are gone and dash. So I got Miami winning this game. Next up, we got the number 2 slot. Penn State, number 22 in the nation, versus Auburn. College football Saturday, September 17th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on CBS. Ladies and gentlemen, Penn State is on the road at Auburn. Penn State has been, taking care of business. Yes, they dominated Ohio University. They struggled against Purdue, but Auburn has played nobody's played cupcakes, I will say. So Auburn's going to be for a rude awakening against a Power 5 school as Penn State. Penn State is trying to, get to the Big Ten title again, as Miami is for the ACC. But their gauntlet is Ohio State. So Penn State needs all the momentum that they need to build up to the point where they face Ohio State, towards the end of October. So it's definitely going to be one of those momentum teams that Penn State has with Sean Clifford, making sure that Penn State has a shot at the college football playoffs. But for them, it's to reach the Big Ten championship game and facing whoever comes out of the Big Ten West. And beating Auburn is in that step in the right direction for this program. Yes, it's been a struggle for them. They only beat Ohio State, once in a while, but Auburn is a test to Penn State, just building up that offense in maybe a 2-minute drive to come back from behind win, and having their defense play a solid SEC opponent. I know I'm giving Auburn too much credit in the definition of solid, but it's a Power 5 school that can fluctuate, becoming a trap game for some schools in the SEC, or it could be becoming a complete blowout. So you don't know what you're going to get from Auburn, but if you want to rely on a team that's very consistent, I would say Penn State is in that wheelhouse, and that's why I'm going to go with Penn State for the win on this one, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're going to close out with the number one slot. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know what the number one slot is. Though I would say it depends. You have other sporting events. You got WNBA finals closing up and all that stuff. But we're in football season, so we got to, shift our focus to football. Yes, as we progress through, we're going to start shifting up, put more sports in, but we're in the early stages of football. High action. Every week has been intense so far. So I think, football is going to keep that going, keep that momentum, keep that pandemonium throughout the season. Definitely going to be something worthwhile. But the number one pick, ladies and gentlemen, is the Chargers and Chiefs. Tomorrow, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific time on Prime Video. Yes, the very first Prime Video, ladies and gentlemen, for the NFL. Very exciting. But these two teams in the AFC West are titans among the most. You could say, playoff-bound teams, AFC championship teams, and Super Bowl contending teams between these two teams. Yes, the big factor in this scenario of this game is Keenan Allen's health for the Chargers. He got more of like a hamstring issues against the Raiders, which hurt the Chargers a little bit. And production-wise, still the Chargers came out with the dub and victory against the Raiders. The Chiefs destroyed the Arizona Cardinals as fashion as the Chiefs did in a 44-21 victory. The Chargers defense made some remarkable plays, sacks on Derek Carr. So that defense is tuned up, ready for this Thursday night action. They definitely need to rest up their players for the Chargers to heal, because this is going to be a battle. And I would say the Chargers don't need to rush Keenan Allen back. Sure, having him back, it will definitely help the Chargers in this game. But you don't want to aggravate that injury and hurting your chances later in the playoffs or deep run later in the season when you need to make some, playoff push moments. You need Keenan Allen healthy. So if he's not ready for this game, sure, the Chargers can take the L early on in this one. But obviously we want him to have a speedy recovery. But with Keenan Allen being questionable, and it's day-to-day, I even have him for fantasy. He may not start. I'm going to give the edge to the Chiefs. If Keenan Allen was playing in this game and was a fully 100% healthy, I would feel the edge of the Chargers, because they're young and spunk team, have a lot of energy. The defense there, they put the pieces together to make a playoff sound team with Justin Herbert at the helm. Definitely going to be a team to watch in this NFL season. But as you know, the Chiefs, all reliable. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce and company really are a solid team. Definitely a true test in week 2 for the Chargers to see what this team is really made of against a playoff caliber talent. Obviously, the season's young, so obviously the play schemes may not be there and stuff like that. But this is a true test for the Chargers. I know the Raiders, is a test, but this is a true playoff contending test, because you probably have a higher chance of seeing the Chiefs in the playoffs again over the Raiders. So this is definitely the first step in the right direction. But sadly, I'm going to have to pick against my Chargers, and knowing what the current situation with Keenan Allen, I think the Chiefs have the edge in this one. Let me do a quick rundown, and we'll close out tonight's program. So we have in the 6th slot, we have the Vikings and Eagles, Monday, September 19th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC and ESPN+, and I have the Vikings winning it. Next up, we have the Titans and Bills, Monday, September 19th, at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, and I have the Bills winning this one. Next up, we have the number 11 Michigan State Spartans versus the Washington Huskies. And Saturday, September 17th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC, and I have the Michigan State Spartans taking care of business in this one. Next up, we have University of Miami, the U, against number 24 Texas A&M. And you can catch this game Saturday, September 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time on on ESPN. I almost said ABC. Oops. It's on ESPN. You can catch this game. The number 2 slot is number 22, Penn State versus Auburn. You got some college football action. You can catch this game September 17th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on CBS. And I got Penn State reliant because they're a solid team taking care of business on this one. And ladies and gentlemen, to cap it off, you have the Chargers and Chiefs tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific time on Amazon Prime Video. First ever in the NFL's history. So definitely going to be a great game for Thursday Night Football. Tune in if you can't get Amazon Prime. Listen to it on the radio for those respective teams and just listen into that broadcast commentary. And that will be that. And I have the Chiefs winning this one. And reminding our record, we went 5-1 because the Denver Broncos messed up on their last drive and giving us the L, preventing us from getting the perfect 6-0 record that we've been logging so far in this season in episode 24. Maybe we'll get this done right and we'll actually get it, but we have to see how this week goes. And like I said, our overall record is 66, 56, and 2. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy all the sporting events for this week and this weekend. So long for now. Bye-bye.